This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster. And I've finally seen, after 48 hours, I've finally seen Captain Marvel. The movie. I was going to do some pre-show goofiness and brooding or something, but I decided not to do that because a bunch of other people already did it. I only saw the first clips of the Stone Gremlins one, as well as the first clip of the Walker Brothers over there at Channel Awesome. They also did the same thing. So yeah, I'm not going to copy them. That would be silly. Yeah. So I know what the controversy is about, but I won't go into that because I'll go into the movie instead. The trailers included Spider-Man Homecoming, Dark Phoenix, and a couple of other movies, but those are the two main ones that caught my attention. This movie is about Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who is the most powerful superhero in Marvel Comics. There were two Captain Marvels in Marvel Comics, and there was even one in DC. You might know him now as Shazam. He's also Captain Marvel. Same guy. Another guy. And then there's Ms. Marvel. So apparently there's another Ms. Marvel that's different. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, this was a noon Sunday showing. Packed house. All the way up to the edges of the seats. Every point hit, every joke hit, it was a Marvel movie. As a Marvel template movie, you have your 3-act play with your hero discovering, or in this case, sort of an anti-hero, discovering her missing past, and then the middle chapter, they're on a planet, it happens to be Earth, and discovering more and more bits and clues, and then going to the 3rd act, where there's a big battle to reveal the truth about everything. Yeah, spoilers. So this review, although it's only 2 days later, kind of has to include plot detailed spoilers, just because it's so if you don't want to see that part, I will enter into the spoilers a little later. The story opens with the Kree planet, and I thought it was odd that they named a race of alien warrior heroes, or maybe anti-heroes after in the Skrulls. The Kree were named after apparently accidentally after an Indian tribe in Canada. That was an odd thing. And so they're not supposed to be, but that literally their name is Kree. And I guess it's based on the 71 comic book, the 71 one, which is about, they went and did that. They included the Supreme Intelligence. That was cool. They had it be like when you go into the Supreme Intelligence holodeck / Borg Unimatrix, when you're in that, it shows you what you want to see, not what it wants to see, which is interesting. So she sees this lady that she doesn't really know who that is, but finds out later that it's connected to her memories in her past. But yeah, if it's different from the comic book in some ways, it's not exactly the same. Although in a cinematic movie version, I guess they had to take some liberties, just because it would be impossible to do it with. Yeah, they would have to explain too much. So they set it in the 90s, so they wouldn't have to explain a lot of it. There is a cat in it. There's a Kal Kat moment. There's quite a few of those. There's moments of zen with the cat. I won't give away any of the moments with the cat. You can see the trailer thing, and of course it's Quark from the 90s, because it can't be Houdini from now. It had to be Quark from the 90s. So it's Quark, and he's actually, but he's not called Quark in this. He's not Gay Kitty. he is actually from the 90s. He's actually something else. Yeah. Forgetting what his name is, the cat. I want to look that up. Goose. In this story, the cat's name is Goose, the gay kitty. Goose the gay. You couldn't use pork. They could have used pork. I would have been okay with that. Who passed away in 2008. They could have used Quark. That would have been cool. But no, they called him Goose like in the comics. And he's basically a Cthulhu-type creature, shapeshifter, similar to the Skrulls. Sounds like Krull, but Skrulls. Actually, it would predate the movie Krull. And they're kind of like that in that movie too, but it's not connected. So yeah, we have Goose the cat. They de-aged Coulson and Fury to make them look younger. And they did an amazing job doing that. I'm thinking that in some cases, they merely superimposed his de-aged face onto someone else, which is bizarre in some cases, because they just had to. They couldn't just, distant shots. It's some other actor playing Fury. Close up, it's Fury. Yeah, or at least his face, which is bizarre. I suppose technology will go advanced enough eventually that there'll be that it won't even need to be in the movie. You can just send in your performance and put you on the screen and that no one gets to get acting credit. Didn't have any beginning credits. That were all at the end. It was a little over 2 hours long, which is a good length for it. So Vers, who she's called as that battle hero, she goes in a fight with the Skrulls. She's in the Kree Air Force, Space Force thing, Air Force, and she goes Space Force. She goes to this planet where she's abducted by the Skrulls after they ambush her unit, or the unit she's in. There's a unit commander guy that's her, I guess, buddy and some connection with her. In the comic, it's supposed to be Mar-Vell, and then Mar-Vell gives the powers to her, but they did change that a little bit. It is in there though that he did give her a transfusion, so that's spoilers. Yeah. So that okay. But the super intelligence controls her and all of the other ones through galaxies apparently. They have a cool way of folding space that looks like game board pieces. Like if you were playing the Marvel game board from the 90s, Champions and the Marvel game board. And that was very cool. I like that. It is obvious, the space screen is, they have little cubit things. That's cool, but silly, but that's still cool. It was okay, yeah. They have their hyperfold thing. It makes space into little tetrazoid shapes, and then they can fly through. And the space closes back up. So it's like a grid inside a honeycomb thing. It's weird. But yeah, it looked cool. So yeah, I mean, it is a comic book. So she escapes from her captors and crash lands on 52, E52, not B52. That'd be funny. But no, it's E52. It was also Earth and the B52's telemovie. There was a movie that the B-52s did. And I'm sure that's a reference to that. It was from the 80s, so that's cool. They also referenced 9 Inch Nails. She's wearing a shirt. There's a lot of Blockbuster, a lot of other 90s gags. There's even a extended chase on a light rail train. And the light rail in Los Angeles didn't exist yet at that time because it crashed in LA. But it did exist in other parts, say like San Jose and elsewhere. If it did, it was a very short track at that point. The San Jose one, as of 1994 or 5, would have been, it would have gone downtown and then back to Tasman. But in Los Angeles, it would have been downtown to, wouldn't have been very long. It would have been downtown to Hollywood Boulevard. Not very long, but it would have been there, but not very long. But they made it look longer in the movie. The cars seemed to be accurate. They didn't mess that up. Yeah, so that's interesting that they did that. She's on the planet. She meets up with Nick Fury, who is a double agent for the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D. They are chased around a lot, and they go to this. They go after the records of this former commander that they're pretty sure has something to do with this. Then I'm not going to give that away, but they find the commander lady, and they find out that she died in an explosion to test a hyperspace aircraft. They keep calling it a light speed aircraft, but don't they already have that? I think the point of the story is though that the aliens just want their tech getting into human hands instead of low light speeds, not very fast if they're traveling galaxies. Like I said, keep saying galaxies, they probably mean solar systems, other parts of the universe. But okay, fine. So in the movie, they're not really talking about galaxies. But in the 90s, sci-fi was often saying stuff like that. So I was okay with that, just as long as they don't really mean galaxy. They meant it was solar system across one galaxy. But that's all right. Don't forget for that. I mean, it's a comic book movie where people fly in space with superpowers that they get back, that they gain a foothold on. It makes you wonder if they already had those powers anyway, but maybe not. So they go for the thing. This is kind of my plot spoilers because you gotta tell the plot of the movie, right? So they discover that she was a test pilot on Earth, and that she was killed in testing this new special aircraft, and the commander lady died, and she disappeared and was taken to the Kree homeworld, and not Canada, the Kree homeworld, and reintroduced as for 6 years as a combatant in their war, sort of their war thing. They also establish, which I thought originally was an error, about they mentioned the Gulf War and stuff like that, and that they couldn't serve or whatever. I thought it was an error, but actually the beginning of the Gulf War is, if this story takes place in 1995, then yeah, it would be 5 years after the Gulf War, and they would have been at the very beginning of it, had they been in it. They were in training before it, so they weren't actually in it. So it's not an error. Marvel was checking their facts really well. By 1990-91, the Gulf War was pretty much over, but just stalemated until 2003 or so. Yeah. 2002. But anyway, the Skrulls and Krees and stuff. So they go to find her friend, who is this other lady pilot, who has a daughter who is apparently can't be much older. Well, she had to be much older than she was when she saw her last. She appears to be like, I don't know, 12. So was she 6? I don't know how old she is. But they go to the house, and then the Kree and the Skrulls follow them there, and there's this fight. They have a Quinjet outside, and they get away from the one group only to have the other group, spoiler, the other group reveal that actually they're the ones that are being oppressed by the Kree, and that the Kree are actually bad guys. So it's like a twist. Ooh, what a twist. I say spoilers. But if you've read the comic books, you know there's got to be a twist there. It's a twist that works, unlike an M. Night Shyamalan twist. And so they gonna go to the Commander Lady's lab, and Marvel and whatever her other name was, and then there's the other hero guy. Yeah, I don't need to know. I don't want to give away all the names. I want you to go and see it. And then there's a big fight up in space. They go into space onto the lab ship, and they fight up there in Strawberry's lair. I mean, the Marvel lair in space, having it end a bit similar to Transtech, which I had nothing to do with this script. Just saying, nothing to do with it. However, there's Quark is Goose all over it, and he's a Klaatu alien, and it has something to do with Fury's eye. I won't give that away either. I think that's in the trailer though, and also the Tesseract is involved in there too, because there's a power source of Tesseract, and also somebody got zapped. I'll tell you who, by the engine core on the planet, and there's a lot of other things that are going on that I don't want to really give it away. It's just 48 hours later from its premiere. Uh, yeah, so other reviewers will go into other massive detail about plot devices and stuff like that. Might later, who knows? This is that part of the MCU. Yeah, so I take it Homecoming takes place after this, or is it before? No, Avengers Endgame is a couple of months, so yeah, after. And oddly enough, Fanime is after that, and then around the same time, kind of. No, it's after that, after Endgame, and Comic Con Silicon Valley, it's way off in August when Spider-Man Homecoming comes out. I think that's when it's coming out. So that's much later. So yeah, Phase 4 of the MCU. So we're getting to the end of Phase 3 already. Yeah, then there won't be a lot for a while, but not because they took some out, just because well, James Gunn left, and yeah, so he's gonna go write something else over there at DC. He's gonna write Suicide Squad 2, or maybe they're calling it Sinister Six, something like that. Yeah, so let's see about that. So yeah, okay. Yeah. So did I like the movie? Yeah, yeah. I thought it was great. It was a Marvel formula movie. There was a yeah. So it's great. Yeah. I agree with the critics in this case that it's a really good movie, and I'm not just a shill for Marvel and Disney Studios. A fan of Disney Studios does not equal shill. If I actually was, I'd be making more profit on my channels. I'm not, obviously. So, yeah. So yeah, Elliot. Yeah, I give it a higher score than the critics gave it. Even they 80% of Rotten Tomatoes, something like that. I would give it 84 or 85%. It's 4 stars. It's really good. Yeah, go see it. And also because as far as feminists go, I'm considered a male feminist, Reagan era centrist, but am liberal on certain issues, which used to be conservative issues, but turned to liberal issues, including that. So yeah, feminism is cool. I like that. So yeah, obviously it's. That said, let's go into the controversy a little bit. Okay, Rob Walker over there. Yeah, I've nailed it basically. When he's all like, oh, these guys are just they're hurting. Their feelings are hurt or something. He said something else other than feelings. Let's just. Yeah. And they're just all uppity and everything. And Mark Cards, who wasn't here for this but heard about the controversy, was like, yeah, kind of the same thing. A lot of troll people on the net just really don't like the idea of women in power, and it's ridiculous because there's 50% women and 50% men on the earth. So why can't they be in power? I say let them be in power. That way, in some ways, if anything happens, you can blame them, but also blame the trolls. Yes, yeah, I say, yeah, I would have been okay with a woman president, just not that choice, because we kind of already had sort of a woman president in the 80s, Nancy Reagan, when Ronald Reagan went senile after he was kind of going senile. And we even knew it back then. And for the last year of his presidency, she was in charge. She was the first feminist, technically, of that time period. I'm sure there was Jacqueline Suzanne and Virginia Woolf before that, but yeah, she was in charge, and she was a feminist. And it's funny how like they earlier programs about Nancy Reagan trying to make it look like, oh, Reagan, like. Reagan wasn't the best film actor, but he became the best president ever. It's more like Reagan was a good film actor, and then he became Screen Actors Guild guy, so he didn't fail at that. He became the other thing. And then he became governor, and then he became president, and kind of didn't do so hot in his last year or so as president. But they often forget that, history. I remember it from history. I was about 18 when he stopped being president, and yeah, he was. They were joking about that all the time. It's just like 18 or 19, yeah. So So, so yeah, Nancy Reagan was the first feminist, and that was before all of these troll people. It was before the internet really took off. There was some internet jokes in there about it being taking too long to load the internet. It was funny, and so that was in the movie. So yeah, these people that are complaining about this movie and then like trying to downvote it before it even came out, they're full of it because they, why? Just because you guys did not. You guys are the same people that complained about Ghostbusters with the ladies in it. And that wasn't that bad. It was okay. It's way better than Ghostbusters 2. Even though I know some people that were in Ghostbusters 2, but they like it just for the nostalgia of having been on the set. But but it wasn't a good movie. So and no, they weren't in the female Ghostbusters movie. They were not in that. I don't think Mark's Cards was either. Anyway, I don't think so. And I also didn't complain about the new Bumblebee movie being like girl centric and stuff. They liked that. That was a great movie. It was the new Transformers spinoff. Yeah, I was. Yeah, Bumblebee. Yeah, it's like, and they didn't complain about Wonder Woman or Black Widow. They liked her. They didn't make a movie about her. They skipped to Captain Marvel, which kind of makes sense, I guess. Maybe Endgame will be the Black Widow movie everybody wanted, with a little Captain Marvel thrown in. She's inevitably going to show up, you know. It's going to happen. And there's that Cthulhu cat thing. I keep saying Cthulhu, that's from Lovecraft, and he was one of the founders of sci-fi mystery horror back in the day. Well, Poe was first for early creepy horror, and some of those other guys, you know, the classics. But Lovecraft had a way with like tentacle monsters and things, and called them the Cthulhus, among other things. He was the metaphor of the other. Yeah, there's lots of stuff on Lovecraft. He was kind of a racist, so I'm not going to go into that. But the other stuff that he was into was like the idea of the weird tentacle monsters. So the Japanese did not think that up. Lovecraft thought that up, as near as I can tell. But yeah, he liked the squid creatures and the kraken as well, that kind of thing. So of course, and of course the Rathrags from Star Wars out of the Kal Kat episode. Yeah. I'll let you know about episode 9. No, I can't tell you about episode 9. Sorry. But yeah, they were complaining about episode 8 too, because there was a weak female character. Well, 2 of the men were too. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, but then Admiral Holdo blew up the ship. Anyway, that's another story. It's like, these guys that are claiming they're like uber feminist and then turning around and saying everyone's a feminazi or something, or everyone's a social justice warrior or whatever. It's like, I don't treat that as a pejorative like they do, where they're all, they'll probably comment, you social justice warrior. I'll be like, yeah. So? What? Superhero of social justice. Yeah. Danny Crane. Captain William Shatner. Actually, William Shatner was not a social justice warrior. William Shatner was kind of a rounder and a man's man, the kind of character. Yeah, he had some interesting relations that I'm surprised he hadn't got busted for. But no, he was okay. Yeah, these people are complaining about really nothing. There's nothing wrong with the movie. There's no agenda in the movie. And as a male feminist, I did not see any agenda in the movie. Watched the movie all the way through. The only thing that I can think of what triggered them might be the 2 battle scenes where the jerky commander guy, he's like training her, and he says lines that imply his junk, basically, sort of, and then she beats him. So that's not exactly feminist. That's more like you're being a jerk talking about your junk, and then she decked you. It's like, you deserved it, dude. You know, it's a swift kick in the balls. So what? Deserved it. So yeah. So yeah, they like, what are you complaining about? There's nothing to complain about in this movie. It's a Marvel movie. It follows the formula. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not just saying that because Marvel and Disney. Sure. Yeah, this controversy is dumb. Just like the Oscars were like too PC to put on a host because they had to grab two movies that no one saw to give them Oscars because they didn't want to go for the movie that might have suggested girl power with Lady Gaga. She should have won that Best Actress. Come on. Come on, hands down. Come on. She should have won that Best Actress. Come on. But yeah, Best Actor would have been. Rami Malek did win for Best Actor. So at least they didn't go after the LGBT element. They stayed away from that. But in fact, there were kind of implied that some of the agents in this one were a little bit LGBT friendly. Oh my. So you never see Mick Fury picking up on any girls. Yeah, I wonder. I'm just saying. Never see him with a wife. Maybe the Avengers Initiative is. No. Oh shit, no. But no. It's like an S&M trip or something. But yeah. So yeah, there's nothing at all controversial in this movie, and you guys are making stuff up. I understand that Brie Larson said some stuff off the cuff. She's obviously kidding. She's the girl from Scott Pilgrim Saves the World. She was the girl that the guy wanted. She was in some other stuff. It's like she's a TV actor. Harmless. If she was joking about old white men that were jerks, then fine. It's like, yeah. So there we go. Yeah. This movie's fine. It's a Marvel movie. There's nothing wrong with it.